Every man praying or prophesying.
Every man praying or in this Bible in the midst of prophecy, read.
Having his head covered.
Having his what?
Head covered.
Having his head covered, read.
Dishonoreth his head.
Who's the head of the man? Christ and God. So if we're praying and prophesying, if we go into this Bible and our heads is covered, we dishonoring who? We dishonoring Christ and we're dishonoring God. We're dishonoring the rest of the order. So what we gonna do? There it is.
There we go.
The man was telling the truth. He said there's nothing keeping them from there's nothing stopping you from keeping the laws of God. It's that simple. How do you get a good conscience towards God? You learn these laws and you apply them in your life. That's the real baptism. Say it again. But yeah, because our flesh desires certain things, like our flesh may desire drugs. Our flesh may desire unsolicited sex acts. Our flesh might desire unclean food. But your spirit wants to be in accordance to God's law. So there's a battle going on within us. So that's why we need God's law, so we know how to govern our lives. You can govern yourself once you know God's laws. Like, dang, I wasn't supposed to do that. You know what? Let me send up a prayer and ask the Lord to forgive me. Let me get around the brothers and tell them what happened so they can give me ways so I can prevent that from happening again. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, you got to get around that. You got to get around people, like-minded individuals. Because if you learn these laws and you out here by yourself, everybody is. And Mika, give me evil. Did we finish that?
Yes, sir.
Give me evil communication. This is what's going to happen if you're trying to learn the laws and trying to apply them to your life, but everybody around you is wicked. Your bus is coming? All right, read that real quick.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 33. Be not deceived.
Be not deceived. Nobody, even if you're trying to be godly, even if you're trying to be righteous on this earth, be not deceived.
Evil communications corrupt good manners.
Evil communication will corrupt your good manners. They say in the world, show me 5 of your friends and I can tell you all about yourself. So even if you're trying to be a righteous, you're trying to be a preacher, if you hang out with 5 crackheads, guess what's going to eventually happen? We can say, oh, no, not me. But first and foremost, you're going to accept it. You're going to be like, oh, well, these are my friends. You know, I know they do what they do, but these are my friends. I grew up with these guys. First, you're going to accept it, and the next thing you know, that spirit is going to jump onto you.
Bring it up.
All right? That's why, give me that as a rock. We're supposed to be continuously around the righteous. That's why we out here teaching our people. You got a church that you go to? You're of St. Patrick's Church? What denomination is that? It's a Catholic.
Not really follow it either.
It's
3712.
So much damage, and when I heard the history and what they did, I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to do about this. No.
And
but
it-
I do have a higher power.
Yeah.
I believe in my mind and in my heart.
Okay.
I do.
So
And
this,
I didn't realize that
let me
until
show you something.
So I got locked up in prison. I'm
You went to prison?
Yeah, and that's why I said.
Okay.
Lord, I'm sorry, I'm being a hypocrite because I'm coming to church.
Why? Because you went to prison?
Yeah, because no.
We all
because
make
I would go
mistakes.
to church because I would go to church just to get out of there and then go hang out with the homies. Because then we had our conversation. Like after that, I left it. I said, you know, I ain't doing this no more, Lord.
Yeah.
I said, I love you, I respect you, and you're in my mind and you're my heart, and that's it. It's hard to have religion.
That's a hard, you know what? That's the perfect example of what me and the other brother was talking about, where your mind wants to do what's right, but that flesh is calling you to do what's wrong.
Wake 'em up.
In Catholicism, that Catholic Church, they really wasn't giving you the right things for your spirit. Because all that stuff is fake. You're an Israelite according to the Bible. Your spirit need God's laws. What are you so-called, so-called Mexican? What's your race? Look at that sign right there. You're not a Mexican. You are from the tribe of Issachar. An Israelite according to the Bible. All right? Your spirit needs God's laws. You're a priest standing up there singing some hymns, some crazy sounding hymn. Oh, God. That's not going to do nothing for your spirit. You are an Israelite. God's laws is what's going to change your spirit. Listen to this. Read.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 37, verse 12. But be continually with a godly man.
What's a godly man? Men that keep the commandments of the Lord.
Bring it on.
Men that govern their lives with the commandments of the Lord.
Come on.
If I get to lusting and looking at sisters, my brothers is going to say something to me.
Right.
If I get to getting extra covetous, trying to worry about money, trying to get, being greedy, my brothers are going to say something to me.
Bring it on.
Like, brother, this ain't like you. You know what the scriptures say. And they're going to correct me and keep me walking on that right path. You see that? So that's what you got to do. You got to get around godly men, read.
But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord.
That you know keep the commandments of the Lord, read.
Whose mind is according to thy mind.
Because if you're trying to be righteous with God, you got to be around people who are trying to be righteous with God. Catholicism just don't do it for you. Catholicism starts off telling you lies. And that's what the problem with a lot of our so-called Hispanic brothers and sisters. Matter of fact, just the title, I hate that title, Hispanic. That means you're a property of Spain. You ain't nobody's property. You're a servant of the Most High God. And you got to come back to this Bible. Our people got to come back to this Bible. All right? Give me any more on that? Read.
Whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry.
If you start to break God's laws, we're going to try to correct you. If you still break God's laws, we are going to sorrow with you and minister to you until you get your spirit back right. That's what real men of the Lord do. That's the benefit of being amongst the godly. You see what I'm saying? That's why we come out here and try to teach our people and try to bring them back to the Lord.
Wake them up.
All right? So you got on your shirt, freedom. You got freedom, and then what freedom was given to us in 1776? Because look, they was doing this to us in 1776.
That's
You don't think we have lived that?
Yeah, give me Deuteronomy 28 and verse 49. So first give me 50 and 33. What's that, Jeremiah? The blacks and Hispanics got oppressed together. But in this society, we think we are different people. So let me show you that in the scriptures. Brother with the hat. How you feel? What's your name, man? Jose? Jose and Felix. All right, Jose and Felix. Just imagine.
Felix Cruz.
So Felix
Can I
Cruz.
tell you something?
Let me share this with you.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah.
The children of Israel, the so-called Hispanics today, and the children of Judah, the so-called blacks, the so-called Jamaicans, the so-called Haitians, the what do you call them in the Caribbean islands? Read.
Were oppressed together.
We were oppressed together. These things happened to the both of us.
Right.
All right? You heard that, Jose? What did he say? Hey, Jose, you hear that? You hear what the Bible just said about the blacks and Hispanics? What's your so-called nationality? You're so-called Mexican. So on that sign, you from the tribe of Issachar. You're an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar. This is what I was telling the brother down there. He said he was going to the churches, and they wasn't doing nothing for him. He was going right back out, drinking, hanging out with the guys, doing whatever it is that they do, giving in to the flesh. This right here is not going to feed your spirit. You are an Israelite. You need God's laws to change your spirit.
Bring it out.
The spirit of Christ, that's what you need. All right? This is not right here. This is not the spirit of Christ. This is not even the image of Christ. Look, they painting over the real image to give you a false image. They're giving you white supremacy.
Right.
Here it is, the same damn people that came against your people, the so-called conquistadors, came and took this land and raped, murdered, and robbed your people. Then they say that he's Jesus.
Right.
When Christ looked like you, black man,
Wake them
look
up.
like your brothers, and you look around at your brothers like we niggas, when they did that purposely to separate us.
Right.
Just imagine what we could build if we got together.
T.
Just imagine what we could build. All right? Where I got you going? Listen to this real quick before you run off. Tell me what you think about this.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, The children of Israel.
The children of Israel, that's the so-called Hispanics. That's from, you see Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, on down is the children of Israel, that's the so-called Hispanics. Read.
And the children of Judah.
And the children of Judah, the three at the top, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, that's the so-called American blacks, that's the so-called West Indians, the Jamaicans, the Haitians, all them. Read.
Were oppressed together.
Why were they oppressed together? Because they're all one nation of people. And the goal is to oppress the Israelites, stop them from coming together under Christ. Because their survival that depends on keeping us asleep. That's why we come out here to show our people their nationality and wake them up and bring them back to God's laws. What's stopping you from keeping God's laws? What? Huh? Nothing. Let me see what kind of spirit you got. Give me 1 Corinthians 11. I want to test your spirit real quick before you walk off.
Bring it out.
Bring it out.
Test your spirit, because you said there's nothing stopping you from keeping God's laws. There's nothing stopping you from keeping God's laws. Once you start keeping God's laws, guess what you're going to be? Perfect.
Right.
And you mess up, get it back right. Practice makes perfect. All right, read.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
The head of every man is Christ. You got a problem with that? You got a problem with Christ being the king? None of us have a problem with Christ being the king. Whatever he's on, that's what we on. Whatever he's about, that's what we about. If he about setting this earth in order, that's what we about. Read.
And the head of the woman is the man.
That's what we explained to that sister that just, you missed that part. Sister came over here talking loud. We explained to her, you got to be submissive. You got to settle down. This men, the head of the men are the head of the women. Read. You got a wife? You got a girlfriend? Read.
And the head of Christ is God.
Even Christ himself has a head. That's the Most High God. Read.
Every man praying or prophesying.
Every man praying, or in this Bible, in the midst of prophecy, read.
Having his head covered.
Having his what?
Head covered.
Having his head covered. Read.
Dishonor of his head.
Who's the head of the man? Christ and God. So if we're praying and prophesying, if we go in this Bible and our heads is covered, we dishonoring who? We're dishonoring Christ and we're dishonoring God. We're dishonoring the rest of the order. So what we gonna do? If our head is covered and we in this Bible, what we gonna do? We're gonna uncover our head. We're gonna uncover our head?
Take your hat off for God. For God.
There it is.
There we go.
The man was telling the truth. He said there's nothing keeping them from there's nothing stopping you from keeping the laws of God. It's that simple. We brought it out the Bible and you applied it.
Yes.
It's that simple. All of God's laws are that simple. Some things are a little harder. You just got to work harder. But it's that simple.
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word